Good morning. Welcome to Using Buncee for Digital Storytelling. If you haven't heard of Buncee, you're going to learn all about it in a few minutes. And if you haven't heard of digital storytelling, well, obviously we're going to learn a little bit about that now. So I'd like to start my presentation. We're going to be using Buncee for digital storytelling in the classroom. What is digital storytelling? For those of you that haven't used digital storytelling, you can use it. It's basically having students be creative and tell their story on their digital device. They can tell it in any discipline, math, phys ed, doesn't really matter which class it is that you're doing it in. But what it is it really gives the students a voice and a way to tell their story. If you look here, I have a link to, of course, my computer isn't working the way I'd like it to, which isn't surprising. I will have this link out to share after the presentation, but I do have a link to some great details on digital storytelling and other ways that it's been used. But I definitely would like you to take a look at that if I can get it to work. Here is a video that I'd like you to see. a great little video on just some of the capabilities of Buncee. And of course, that's why I'm showing you Buncee today to use for digital storytelling, because I think it happens to be the best way to use, the best thing to use in the classroom for digital storytelling. Sorry for my so how do we use digital stories in our classroom? Well, one of the best things that I can think of with my students is that it helps them become active participants. Students need to confer with each other. They need to, really decide how their story is going to go, what they're going to put in the story, how it's going to, turn out. And so therefore, they really need to become active participants. It also offers authentic project-based learning. When they are creating a digital story, whether it's in math class or science class or English class, they are really using everything that they know. They're taking in maybe experiences that they've had or experiences that they've learned from other books that they've read or other things that they've done. So it's really very authentic for them. It also enhances inquiry-based learning. They have to question themselves. They have to question the outcome of the story that they're trying to portray. They have to really get involved and really question everything that they're doing. So they're really, really, it's enhancing their inquiry-based learning. Also, it allows students to access their voice. Using digital stories allows them to really get to know their own thought process and figure out how they want to portray themselves in that media. So it really allows them to access their voice and to get it out there. And it helps build effective communication skills. They need to, understand how they want to get their idea out. They have to, really build that ability to get their point across. So it's really, really effective for getting their communication skills going. And it's engaging for all learning levels. You don't have to be a stellar AP student in order to tell your digital story. You don't have to. And I say digital, but I mean any story. Really, kids love to be able to tell their story no matter what it is. And so giving them the ability to tell that, really engages them no matter what learning level they're at. And doing it through digital media allows them to speak into their story or, write it out or type it out or however they need to, which really gives access to all learning levels. So some suggestions: math stories. We all know that math is not just a linear, learning just of different types of problems and, solutions. There are also stories involved in math, and as Common Core really takes a hold and the change comes over in math and everything else, stories are important. Whether it may be even on the youngest grade levels, first, second grade, even my own children at home, they have to make up math stories. And what better way than to be able to do it in a digital format where they could speak into their digital media and they can actually record everything that they're trying to say and almost narrate their math story. Phys ed as well. Obviously, we could write stories about different types of games or different types of outcomes with winning and losing, etc. And art stories as well. I mean, really anything could become something that a student can make a story about. And if you see here, I have a great link, and hopefully it's going to work for me. Unfortunately, it's not been my day with technology. I have a little link here with different steps for the digital storytelling process. My background is mostly in special ed and ELA, so therefore ELA teachers are pretty well adept at writing stories. Perhaps other disciplines aren't. So this is just a little outline for you on how to start, coming up with an idea and writing a proposal. What better way to get a student to get their ideas flowing and start to understand the process, but having them write a proposal. This is what I want to write about. This is what I think my story should be about. And I'm going to go from there. And then, of course, they research, learn, and explore. That's the part that really starts to get their juices going. Maybe they decide as they start researching what it is that they want to write about, maybe they decide that their original proposal isn't what they want to do. That's where they really start to dig in and the learning happens, and the learning is self-directed. They're doing the learning, they're doing the research, they're trying to understand better so that they could communicate it. And so it's really, really important, and that's really the enriching part. Then of course they script it out, they write it out, and this is where a collaboration comes in, you know, where they could write together, or they could write and have, you know, collaborate with their peers and have them edit and give feedback. So it's very important. Then of course storyboarding and planning, that's necessary. They need to be able to understand how their story is going to flow, how it's going to, you know, how it's going to lay out, and whether or not they have the process right. So, you know, make sure they have their conflicts, make sure they have their characters, make sure they have everything developing properly, and maybe they need to rearrange it a little. So the storyboarding and planning process is important. And then fun and creative, and you know, step 5 is gathering. They get to create their images, they can create their audio, create their video. And that's where Buncee especially comes in, because they are able to do everything right here, right on the canvas in Buncee. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And it just becomes such a fun process for them. Then once they can put it all together, then they share, and then again they collaborate, because they get feedback and they reflect on each other's stories, and you know, really start to see growth in what they've done and what their peers have done. It's really, really a fun time for the classroom. So hopefully my examples here are gonna work out for me. Again, like I said, unfortunately my computer is not really working the way I want it to. So what I decided to do was show you some examples first of digital storytelling that's been done, or some other examples of possible starting points for digital storytelling that are on Buncee. And as you can see here, I have links to them. This one in particular is one of my favorites. This was a little girl. She was in 2nd grade, and she wrote her digital story. What is awesome about Buncee, again, is that, as you can see, there's like a little play here. This is where she recorded her voice. All of these stickers, all of these animations, everything, these are all right from Buncee. So she was able to do, you know, her creation process was here. She got to think out what she wanted to put on the screen. She got to decide how to lay it out, and what she wanted to do to engage her readers and her audience. You'll also see a little QR code here. So if she were to print this out, or she had to have it in, you know, a physical copy of it, she would be able to do that, and everybody could scan it and go right to her live Buncee, which is really great. So I'm going to play just a little bit. So cute. Now, again, 2nd grade, but it's very important, and the growth that this student would show over the course of the year is amazing. She was able to record her voice as she, you know, recorded the words that she chose, but she could listen to her voice and decide whether or not that diction was proper, and just record over and keep recording until she understood that she had the right inflection in her voice, and she, you know, said it with the right amount of enthusiasm. So it's really a fun learning process for her. Another great feature about Buncee, if she didn't record, all of the text that you see here is also text to speech. So if I can get it to click here, for some reason I'm having difficulty. Okay. It's really blowing my computer for that. But as you can see, there's a little, you know, microphone thing there, and everything that is actually typed onto the canvas in Buncee is text to speech, which is fantastic for our English language learners, and it's fantastic for our struggling readers, or, you know, anybody like that might need a little bit more emphasis on the words that are there. Maybe they need some direction in making sure that they, you know, are reading it properly. So the text-to-speech feature is really great. I'm not going to go into the entire story, but I just thought I would show you how much fun she had. You know, the creation process, that step 5 right here, comes into play big time throughout And that's where Buncee really, really comes alive and helps the students. So you can see how much fun she had. It's really great. And my computer again, I apologize. I don't know why it's taking me such a difficult time, but I'd like to go back and show you some of the other examples. Let's see if I can refresh. Yes, okay. Sorry about that. So here's another example of a great digital story. Let's see, they basically took a book and brought it to life on a Buncee, which is really fantastic. So much fun. They were able to take the story, put it to life right here. Dancing song. So the text-to-speech does sound a little bit Siri-ish, but at least the students have options. They don't necessarily have to record their voice if they don't want to, which makes it really, gives them that freedom, which is important when it comes to creating. They need to be able to decide whether or not it's something that they want to do. If they don't want to do it, I mean, I myself don't like to listen to my voice recorded, so I might choose not to actually narrate my story. But at least having that option and having that capability is very important and makes it so much more authentic for the students. So as you can see here too, we have these two examples down on the bottom. These are more of a starting point for different lessons in digital storytelling. So I'm going to start with this one. This is a local songwriter who is close to us here on Long Island. And what's important about this particular Buncee and this lesson is it's a great pivotal point for digital storytelling for classrooms. Granted, it's probably on the more elementary level, but really could be used at any grade level. And what's great about this is that this songwriter, Brady Reimer, he was able to record a little bit of his inspiration for writing this particular song, as you can see right here in the shoes. So as you can see, it's really this is a great lesson because he's giving them a little bit of a starting point to give them some inspiration to write their own digital story, or maybe they want to write a song. It doesn't necessarily always have to be just this, idea of a book or a story that we might be set in. Students will have the opportunity through digital storytelling to really kind of use their creative freedom and do so many different things. So one of the, this is definitely one of my favorite things about Buncee as well is, there's opportunities that are there right on the canvas for them to kind of have an inspiration. And again, same thing with this example that I have right here. This is Michael Paraskevas. He wrote Taffy Saltwater's Yummy Summer Day, which is, again, fantastic book. He is also he's an illustrator as well as a story writer. So what is important about this particular book, Bunsey and author himself, is the fact that students can see that it's not just about the writing, it's not just about the words, but it's also about how you decorate it, how you illustrate it, what choices you make. And you know, they kind of see that not only was this man a very talented writer, but he's also a very talented artist as well. So it's really great for them to see. And if you see these arrows here, up in the sun and down in the pale, we have Michael reads his book up here, or down here, I believe, and up here he tells a little bit of his inspiration for writing and his inspiration for, you know, actually becoming an illustrator. So I'll play a little bit of that for you. I'm not going to continue to play everything, but as you can see, it's a great little inspiration for the students to kind of get a springboard for something that they might want to read, or something that they might want to do on their own. I'm sorry, not reading, but writing or drawing, etc. So it's actually very. I'm getting a note. I'm getting a message saying that my sound isn't really working. Okay, so I've shown you some examples. I also have here a link for a rubric. This particular rubric for digital storytelling is based on more middle school level students, but it can be adapted basically for any grade level. And really what it is, you know, making sure that they're aware of their audience, making sure that they have their voice and their pacing if they're recording. You know, soundtrack was actually, if they're going to have music playing in the background, images, make sure that they have their question and their grammar, of course, and everything. So this is a great little rubric to adapt to any grade level in order to incorporate the digital storytelling. Now what I'd like to do is show you how to create. When you go into Bunsey, this is our home page. This is where you would start your Bunsey. And then you would go into creation screen. This is where everything happens. So students pick up on Bunsey so easily, and they have so much fun with it. And so do we as teachers. So I thought it would be great to just show you a little bit of the process on how they can create, what they can do with it, and give some ideas for getting digital storytelling going in your classroom. So here what you would do, I always start with backgrounds. And as you can see, there's some that pop up right in your window here, but you can also pick a web image, pick a color, or you can upload a picture right from your computer. There's also hundreds of backgrounds that are made at Bunsey. They're all custom made from here, which is really great. I, particularly for this one, I'm going to pick one of the design ones. These are really fun and just different and exciting. So I might take this one. And if I wanted to, I could apply it to the entire presentation, but I think I'm just going to apply this to this one slide right here. And then for the fun, you can pick any particular item whatsoever. So if you look over here, you can add text, which we will do. So let's put some text on here. Let's say, I think I'm going to say my digital story. And I would like to make it bigger. I would like to change my font. So as you can see on the bottom here, it's where all of your capabilities are. So I'm going to come there, maybe make it a little bigger, and I'm going to center it. And granted, I centered it, but I can actually still move it once I've done that. If I wanted to actually record onto that, I could record right there. My digital story. Right. So easy. So easy. So now I'd like to add some fun. Up here we have, you can import something right from your computer. You can have animation. I'm going to pick an animation. These are all animations made at Buncee, all fun and constantly coming. They have new ones every day. I'm going to pick this one and maybe this one. I'm going to add them right to the canvas. And I'm going to move them around a little bit. Make them bigger or smaller. Then, you know what? I want to pick a YouTube video and add it onto there also. So I'm going to pick a storytelling video. And I'm going to pick this one. And I'm going to add it right to my canvas. Okay. Then as you can see, I can look up web images. I can put a list on here if there was something I wanted to list out. Maybe make a table of contents or just create a list. If I wanted to upload a file straight from my computer, I could do that. Another fun part, great creativity for the students. They can add stickers. Again, these are all made right at Buncee. Like this ball. Maybe I'll do a passport because my story is going to have something to do with traveling for. So, and if I wanted to add a Vimeo video instead of YouTube, I could go there. Maybe I want to generate a QR code in case I print this out. I have a way for somebody to see my live presentation. And then again, another really, really fun tool for the students is the drawing. I can draw right on my canvas. And I can say, maybe I want to just draw A. I'm not the best at drawing, obviously, but maybe I want to just draw an A for Amy. Okay. And then you can add stuff from a Dropbox. Maybe you have only particular pictures you want a student to use, so you can put them in a Dropbox for them to use. There's already pre-printed messages on there. They can add sound from SoundCloud. So say if they wanted to look for the typewriter making a noise or something like that, they could do that. And then a great feature for teachers, not necessarily for digital storytelling, although there may be some, is the access to Guru Learning right here. So you can access hundreds and hundreds of great lessons right at your fingertips. So everything is basically just right there for you. So much fun and so easy. Students don't have to leave the canvas. They never have to go off of Buncee. And even better, and probably one of the most exciting things for, especially on the elementary school level, students don't need to have an email address to have a Buncee. So as a teacher, you just set them up with their own password and their username, and that's it. So they don't lose their password, they don't have to forget anything. It's all right at your fingertips. So it's really very, very, very awesome for teachers in that regard, especially. So I'm just going to show you a couple other things that you can do. If I wanted to make this an assignment, say I wanted to tell them to write about their digital story, I could click on assignment and send it out to my students. I could title it, give a description, tell them when it's due, and send it off to my different classes, which is great. But I can also do something that's really awesome. I can share, and as a teacher, I have the capability of allowing my students to share or not. Again, I'm mostly taught on the secondary level. I encourage my students to have social media. I encourage them to share things. So I would want to give them that option. As a teacher, I can control whether or not they do that. If I was teaching elementary school, I might not want to give them that option, so I can actually turn that off completely and just have them share their submissions directly with me. But as a teacher, this would be my option to share. I can make it public. So if I wanted other people to see my Buncee, I can make it public. I can allow for comments. This is a great way for collaboration and feedback. So you could allow for comments, or I can make it copyable. Many of the lessons on Buncee, like the ones that I've shown you today, the digital stories that were there, or the lessons, with Brady Reimer and Michael Paraskevas, those are all copyable. So as a teacher, I can actually copy one of those lessons into my account and then adapt it however I want to. So, if you saw some of the examples, the Brady Reimer example, there's questions and stuff on there that maybe I wouldn't want to give to my students. Maybe I would just want that one piece with the inspiration, and then I would like to come up with my own questions. Because it's copyable, I can copy it right into my account and then adapt it however I need to make sure it works for my classroom and for my students. So it's a really, really awesome feature. I have a blog and a website, so if I had a great submission, or if I had something that, an assignment that I really liked, or something I wanted to show off, I could copy it and embed it right onto my website or my blog, or I could send the link out and have other people go ahead and take a look at it if they don't have a Buncee account. I could email it, which is really great because I can email it out to anybody if they didn't have social media, or I wanted to, make sure that I wanted them to have access to it. I could email it, especially if I wanted parents to see. I was really proud of a student's work and I really wanted the parents to see. I could shoot them an email with the Buncee and have them take a look at it, which would be great. And one of the coolest things too is that I can shoot it right out to social media. So if I wanted to put something right onto my Twitter or onto my Facebook, my Google+, Pinterest, anything, it's right there. And it's accessible. If I make it public, it's accessible to anybody that's on my social media. So if I put it on my Facebook, other people can go ahead, click right on it, see all the features that I have in my digital story or in my assignment or anything like that. So it's really great. And then I am basically done. I can go ahead and it automatically saves. So once I'm finished, or once I, say I had computer issues, any trouble, it's already automatically saved. It's already in my Buncee. So if I were to close this, you don't want to see that. If I were to close that, I can go. You see right here, I'm in my Buncee screen. So here's where all of my Buncees are. I have a profile right here. Right here, I show my profile, my dashboard, and it shows all my Buncees right here. It'll give me my latest ones that I've just done right here, and then it'll go down and I can organize them into folders. Again, as a teacher, one of my favorite features is that I'm able to take these and organize them into different classes. I can title the folders however I want to. So if I want to just take this and I would like to move it into the other folder for now, I'll put it right into my other folder and done. So it's moved. It's such a great way to organize. What I'd like to show you also is, as a teacher, this is your handy little dashboard. And you'll see when you sign in that all of your assignments right here. Very similar to this, students would see their assignments in their dashboard as well. But here's where I might see some of the assignments that I've given out. And then I can click on that assignment, see who's handed it in, who was assigned, and I could see when they submit it and what their grade is. Probably one of my favorite students as well, one of my favorite features as well, is the way that you can divvy up your students. You have your pool of students right here, and then you can divide them into different classes. As a special ed teacher, this is a great feature because I'm able to take within one class, I could send different Buncee assignments to different students. So I can move, these are my lower level readers, and then these are my, English language learners. Maybe I don't want them all to have the same assignments, so I just divvy them up within the class. They're all getting a Buncee assignment. Nobody understands or knows that they're getting something different. They just know that they're all getting something, and I can easily keep track of and really just differentiate what it is that I'm giving them. So it's really such an awesome feature. And I can go in and I can just see all of my students, and I can see what they have done, what they haven't done. As you can see, these are not my real students, so many of them haven't logged in, but I can see what's going on with them and what they've done and when they've logged in, etc. One other very cool feature I'd just like to show you before I let you go is all of the different features that they have that are already done. So there's a lot of content on Buncee that's already available for you to, like I said, to go ahead and copy and put right into your account so that you can adapt it however you want to. I showed you some of the examples from the Author's Corner, but since we're doing digital storytelling, I thought that I would just kind of show you some of the examples here. This is a new initiative at Buncee. It's really starting to take a hold. It's all of these different authors who have, like I had showed you already, tell a little bit about their inspiration and a little bit about, maybe their favorite part of a book, etc. And what's really great is, like I said, it kind of gives you a great way to get an idea of how to start giving students ideas for digital storytelling. And you can see that there's different assignments and student submissions and things like that here. And this one in particular, you can see this person did a comparison of the two books. This author has several books about different countries and different things within the countries. And this great, comparison here, which is really awesome. And they were able to decorate it nice and everything. But this is an assignment. So you can take this assignment, shoot it out to the students, and have them compare, the two books and the differences and similarities, which is really neat. There's also ideas in here of sending the author a Buncee. So once, once a student gets an idea or gets a inspiration from an author, they're then able to, write a thank you Buncee, or, I love this book Buncee, or something like that, and send it right back to the author so that they can email them and send them something to let them know how much they like their book. It's really a fun, definitely a very fun tool. Oh, I hope that you liked the presentation. I know it was very laid back, but I was very excited to show you some of the things that you could do with Buncee. I would love for you to get in touch with me. My Twitter handle is right there, and my Angus at Angus1177 @gmail.com. If you have any questions or anything that you'd like to learn more about Bunty, I also encourage you to go to edu.bunty.com.